Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of PaulPonders.
Welcome to PaulPonders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the Connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the Connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #PaulPonders begin. Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Well, this is a life-changing episode of #PaulPonders. I'm really going to cut to the chase. And why am I doing that? Well, I've been speaking to people. I see people on the streets, and I really value the feedback. I value the good, the bad, the ugly, good, the bad, the indifferent. And I think back to, let me see, how did I get here? Well, let me ponder that. Well, I think back to a book that I read many, many, many years ago. BITD, as my daughters would say, back in the day. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Stephen Covey in the 1990s at a conference. And we shook hands, we spoke for about a minute, and he autographed the book. And he was a really great author. And if you haven't had the opportunity to really look at what Dr. Stephen Covey did in his career, he has affected many, many lives. So today, I'm going to talk about the 7 habits of highly effective people. But I'm going to relate this to the 7 habits of a highly effective podcaster. And looking at what I've accomplished through #PodPro Entertainment, looking at the layout, looking at what I've been doing, thanking my sponsor, of course. The sponsor for this episode is Scott Albertson, Scott with 1 T, Albertson, SON, and #Project142. I'm looking at those 7 habits of highly effective people. And Dr. Stephen Covey talked about teens, 7 habits of highly effective teens. Just so many different books were written by this genius, by this incredible behavioral scientist, author. Recently, there's been a publication of the 30th anniversary edition, and his son, Sean, is featured in it. Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, wrote the foreword. But let's look at those 7 habits of highly effective people. The number 1 habit, be proactive. During the course of my life, as I ponder, #PaulPonders again, I think it's important for one to be proactive, not reactive, but proactive. Begin with that end in mind. That's habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to go? Through the course of my life, I've read other books. I've heard other motivational speakers. I've read quotes. I've read books. I've listened. I often quote the great Wayne Gretzky. Skate to where the puck is going, not to where it's been. You have to skate towards the net. You have to skate to where that puck is going. Begin with the end in mind. That is most important. Habit number 3, put first things first. That's what you have to do. Think about that win theory. I often talk about the win theory of life. What's important now? I think about the wit, whatever it takes to do what you need to do to be proactive. Habit number 4, think win-win. Well, we could think about the win, what I just mentioned, about what's important now, but let's talk about winning and losing. No one should walk away from the table feeling like they lost. I don't like that L word. I don't use that L word. Think win-win. Everyone has to walk away from the table thinking that they won. That's the only way to make things happen. I think our political leaders today should walk away from the table thinking that both sides won. Think win-win. That's what interpersonal leadership is all about. Habit number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Well, how do you expect to understand me if I don't get it? So I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to look at who I am. And if I get it, then maybe you'll understand what I'm trying to convey. Hopefully this podcast is going to be helpful to you. Hopefully you'll pass this along to your friends. You'll share it. You'll get everyone to say, oh, you got to check out this hashtag PaulPonders episode. You got to check out hashtag PaulPonders. I understand what I'm trying to do here, and I want you to understand me. And once I have this knowledge, then I know that I'm going to be understood. Habit number 6, synergize. Well, if we look at the root of sin, not S-I-N, but S-Y-N, that means combined. And then there's energize. So let's combine our energy together. Let's synergize. That's part of the win-win process. It's called creative cooperation. That's what Dr. Stephen Covey was trying to create, to convey. Synergize. Let's energize our thoughts, our feelings together. That's most important. And habit number 7, sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw. Well, what happens when you saw a piece of wood? You saw it. You saw it. And eventually, the teeth in that saw are going to be wearing down. Think about it. Keep on sawing. Keep on sawing. The teeth are going to wear down. They're going to get dull. Well, I think it's important to take a step back and to sharpen your saw of life. You keep on doing things. You keep on doing things. Sometimes you have to take that break. You have to find the balance in your life to sharpen your saw. Take a look at your life. Are you becoming too weary? Are you not losing? Are you losing your perspective? Are you losing what you're all about? Take a step back. Relax. Take a break. Go for a walk on the beach. Walk in that salt air. Take a few days off. Easier said than done, I know. But find that balance, that self-renewal. That's what one needs to do. So in summary, as we wind down, as I continue my quest to become that highly effective podcaster, that highly effective person, that highly effective parent, highly effective person. That's what it's all about. So again, to summarize, be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Synergize and sharpen the saw. Look at the paradigm of your life. Look at what we're all about. Look at those 7 habits of highly effective people. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Covey and the Covey Franklin Institute for being an incredible influence in my life. Hashtag indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed hashtag PaulPonders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Alonso Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Alonso. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at PaulPonders. Follow us on Twitter at PaulPondersPod. Follow us on Instagram at PaulPondersPodcast. Thank you again for listening to hashtag PaulPonders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, hashtag PaulPonders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. Hashtag indeed.